Hey guys, Veebat here with another V-Plays, taking a look at the DO 217, doing some low altitude bombing again. And I'm going to kind of give you an idea of what's going through my head here as we go through this low altitude bombing mission. So, as you can see here, we are going to be heading towards the northern garrison. Reason I wanted to go towards the northern garrison is everybody's going to head to the middle, and rather than try and contend with the multitude of aircraft that are going to be going in there, I am going to take what we need as fast as possible rather than risking them getting all of their garrison and airfield and us not having the multiplier for this attrition game mode. You can see we're going at pretty high speed here, pretty effective bombing run. I set up my route, I knew what this garrison looked like, and I tried to set myself up lengthwise across the battlefield, jettisoning what's left of the bombs because I don't want to go into the center, which is my next target, without having a full bomb load. It's going to take about a minute for it to do a full reload, so I'm going to burn some time here. You can see I took very little damage. The overall hit point pool is going to be 1,200 plus, so we're looking at a pretty hefty hit point pool. I think stock it's about 1,000, so with all of the modifications I have on this aircraft, it increases its defensive capability quite significantly. We also have defensive fire on the gunners, which will give us some more defense against aircraft coming in on us. It'll reduce incoming damage by 30%, so that'll be quite effective as we make some pretty aggressive moves here in our bombing. The enemy team only has one other player, and he is also in the DO 217M, so this really is a battle of the bots, and I thought that this would be a fair comparison to what he's probably doing, which I'm guessing is high altitude since I never see him throughout the course of this battle. Again, lining up for some of the bigger targets. Here I screw up and I drop my bomb too late. If I would have dropped it earlier, it would have been more effective. Yes, I almost made contact with that GA. Here we dropped two bombs because I wasn't sure if I was over the target or not. We were making quite a sweeping turn, so the blast radius of having Demolition Expert really came in handy there, which is what I talked about in my other DO video. So we're going to finish off the target that we messed up earlier. You can see that's worth quite a few points, those tanks over at the strongholds. And this boat should finish it off. And we're going to drop what's left of our bombs as soon as we level off so we can go after their garrison. Currently we have the advantage. We're getting 3 points per aircraft kill while they're only getting 2. And if all things are equal, and they should be because we're just talking about bots, then we should have the advantage. I see this F4U1 and I decide I'm going to get my guns on him. I thought I might be able to finish him off, but it looks like he's moving away. But we'll put a little bit of damage into him. It only ended up being 10 hit points, but it'll give us 75 points for assisting in this kill. So again, we're trying to burn up some time. This garrison is it's a large port, so it's set up in kind of a straight line along the beachhead. So we want to make sure that we get ourselves lined up for this attack run. In my previous DO video, I messed up this attack run, so I was being a little bit cautious here and trying to line it up really effectively because I wanted to get as many of these ground targets as I possibly can in a single sweep. The problem I had with the bombing run in the earlier DO video was that I was going way too fast. I wasn't able to make my turns to get on target. So after I drop on this boat, we are going to slam on the brakes. That is going to be hitting S as well as dropping manual flaps, which I have mapped to my 5 key on my mouse button 5. Oh, they already blew that up for me. That's good. And that bomb I dropped on that earlier target was enough to be able to wipe it out. I still have quite a few bombs left, but for what we're going to be going after next, I want to have max bomb load again. So I'm going to get the heck out of here and start heading towards their airfield. Airfields are problematic for bombers. The reason that they're problematic is it's not going to be as easy as just blowing up the ground targets. You have to blow up all of the ground targets and kill at least one aircraft. There just isn't enough there for a bomber to really be super effective. So if you are in a bomber and you have an option of going after any target or an airfield, choose any other target. It's not going to be the best move. It looks like that F4U1 came back and is trying to get some revenge, but he's gone. Thought another target might be dropping on me, but I guess not. The reason I'm sweeping through the stronghold, even though there's a lot of enemies there, is I didn't want to be near the spawn. At least over the stronghold I had some friendly players that would help distract. Now the airfield again is kind of set up in a line. You've got this 2 lanes of runway coming across this airstrip, so we're going to try and cut across it diagonally to get as many of these larger targets as I can in my first pass. Thankfully the DOE has so many air-to-ground ordnance that we are able to drop on every single target on this map. We're going through a fairly high airspeed here, just about burned up all my boost. And here, it's not really an Endelman, but it's kind of an Endelman. I'm getting some altitude in order for me to roll the nose over. I guess you could say it's a really lazy Endelman, because we weren't making a full 180-degree turn, and it's a bomber, so it's not that maneuverable. There are a lot of air defense aircraft on me, and this is where that survivability comes in. That gunner is singing away, which is reducing the incoming damage from any target that he's hitting by 30%. And we have quite a robust amount of hit points, and we're reducing the amount of critical damage that's coming in. We're trying to do this as fast as humanly possible. That is the last ground target. I even still have a bomb left. And I do have a friendly flying through here, but I'm not very hopeful that he's going to survive. I mean, he is a bot, and he's up against bots, so he's probably going to have a tough time. I finally lose a control surface. I drop a bomb hoping to get that target, but I'm way too low. It drops early. But get those tail gunners on target. They knock out my gunner, but I make sure I get him up as soon as possible. I'm able to kill that aircraft, and it secures this airfield. They took our garrison in the meantime, so looks like we're going to be heading that way. I got a lot of time before these bombs reload, unfortunately, and we're going to get there relatively quickly, so I'm going to have to burn some time. Doesn't look like there's any enemies on my tail. I am using the terrain to kind of mask myself from any of the AA fire or any of the bots from seeing me that are defending the garrison. And I'm going to just do a little holding pattern here. I'm actually going to do a 360-degree spin here in order to give myself some more time. I pitch up just a little bit too much. It's just because the view, I thought that I was going to be too low, so I angle it down. You get a little bit of deception here when you're flying at low altitude. You always think you're about to hit the ground, so I instinctively angled up. Shouldn't have done it. This is a little bit tricky. There are some posts here. I saw it. I didn't think it went all the way to the ground, but it does, so I had to deviate around that one to my right. And we're going to make a really fast pass here. You can see we're already kind of low on hit points. I want to limit the ability of the AA to really be able to get their fire on me. Dropping on these targets. Really got to be wary of all these posts and antenna that are sticking up. These boats can do a significant amount of damage, so we're going to try to take him out as soon as possible. Lost my engine, and I just lost my gunner. We're going to get him back up as soon as possible. It took me a minute here to realize that my engine was out, but I'll realize in a minute. We've got enough airspeed that it isn't a problem. With one engine, you're still able to use half of your boost pools, so we're going to take advantage of that. Should only need to drop on this one target, and that should finish the cap off. We got Winged Legend from that. I'm going to continue to maneuver because it takes a while for the defenses to finally disappear. And now we got to line up for another target. Stronghold's going to be my next objective. Looks like it's actually getting taken relatively quickly by my team, but I got some time till the bombs reload, so I can wait for that to play out, and I'm going to let myself auto-heal. You auto-heal up to, I think it's 25% of your overall hit point pool. So since there's no repair bases, that's the best option I have at this time. Plane's beat up pretty bad. We are smoking from 3 different locations on the aircraft. Damaged engine, damaged gunners, damaged wing. Things really taking quite a bit of a beating. Letting the boost build up as well so that we can get to our next objective. Things are a little bit slow here. I actually walked away from the computer for a couple minutes. Well, I should say about 30 seconds. And I just got back now. So bombing still can be rather lax even at low altitude. Going for the stronghold, but you can see it's ticking away pretty quick, and it looks like they're going to take it. So it's time for me to go towards the only other possible objective. Currently we're getting 4 points per enemy kill, and there's only 9 points remaining, and at this point I want to burn all of my boost so we can get a few more ground targets. hopefully be able to get my Mark 1 on my bomber for my skill. If you're not aware, like there's certain roles you play in your aircraft, and they're like sub-objectives. Oop, taking a lot of fire here. And you need to be able to... Oh, there we are. You need to... There's the bomber grade 1. You need to be able to complete those sub-objectives. So for bombers, it's getting capture points and destroying ground targets, and that's really where you're going to make your money. That's the last bomb we need to drop on that target. They still haven't managed to kill anybody yet, so that's fine. I prematurely dropped these bombs. I thought the aircraft might have been dropping on me. I dropped my bombs thinking that I might have to go after an airfield or something, and we know that reload's pretty long. But now it looks like I do actually have that aircraft dropping on me, and it is a heavy, and this can be very dangerous. He's at full health. I'm clearly hurt, but if I keep those guns on him, it'll reduce the damage he does to me. And I'm actually slamming on the brakes, and you'll see he's having a really tough time keeping on me because they stall out at lower airspeeds. So I can manage to control myself because I don't need to turn, and he breaks off. You can see here, rank 1. We got 17,000 combat points in that mission, and the other bomber did not do so great. Mostly because by the time he got to a target area and started dropping bombs, those targets were probably destroyed by me or the multitude of GAs on his own team. There was quite a few GAs in this map, which probably did a lot of good for me. We got 4 tickets from that because we got a ton of medals, and I also got myself a new record for dropping on bomb targets. That's 29 bomb targets destroyed in a single mission. That is fantastic. And there's those sub-objectives represented by those 3 circles. You can see I maxed out one of them there. Quite a few medals, like I mentioned before, made a decent amount of credits. Thunder, Lang Medal, Winged Legend, the Doolittle Medal, Flying Exterminator. Yep, there we go. And significant match. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is probably one of my best runs in the DO 217 to date.